Window on Main Street. Starring Robert Young. As Cameron Garrett Brooks.
Everything you want? It says Window on Main Street, Chapter 3, School Teacher. From there on, half the words are crossed out.
No, I've rewritten that page. In fact, that chapter's done. All I have to do now is edit it.
It must be wonderful to be an author and create people. Or characters, I guess you call them.
Oh, I'm not creating these characters. That's already been done. They're walking up and down Main Street. I'm just trying to understand what goes on inside of them. And that wasn't easy in the case of Wilma Henderson.
Who?
Well, that's the name of the character in this chapter. A fine, dedicated teacher. And a prim and proper young person. And a surprising one.
Mrs. Webster? How soon can you clean room 211? I need it for a... Hi, Mr. Brooks. I need it for a party coming in at 5.
Right away, Mr. McGill. I'm almost through in here.
Good, thanks.
Mrs. Webster, if you were writing a story about a prim, proper school teacher, could you imagine a secret romance between her and Mr. McGill?
Harry McGill? He's interested in most anything that wears skirts, but a prim school teacher? Not him. I've seen strange things happen to people in Millsburg, but if I were writing about them, I'd stick closer to the truth than that.
Well, the truth in this case, believe me, Mrs. Webster, is stranger than fiction.
Window on Main Street. Brought to you by Tony, the name that means the finest in home beauty care for millions of American women.
That's the little white rain girl dancing down a sunbeam into the land of sunshine bright, where even raindrops sparkle with sunlight. All this world of sunshine bright is in White Rain shampoo. White Rain, so rainwater's soft. White Rain rinses twice as clean, and it leaves your hair sun bright as if it were brushed with sunshine. Sweet and fresh, softly manageable, shiningly clean. Remember, White Rain rinses twice as clean. Crystal clear or lotion shampoo.
White Rain shampoo tonight. Tomorrow your hair sunshine bright. White Rain.
The first time I saw the teacher, Wilma Henderson, was in the lobby of the Majestic Hotel. She was talking rather intimately to desk clerk Harry McGill. I would probably never have given this a second thought had she not changed so abruptly to a too obviously impersonal manner when I approached the desk.
Heads up, here comes one of the guests.
Well, I believe that takes care of all the arrangements for the PTA luncheon. Are there any other details that we should cover, Mr. McGill, is it?
How are you today, Mr. Brooks?
Fine. Would you mail that for me?
You bet.
Thank you.
Oh, hi, Mr. Brooks.
Hi there.
I was just coming looking for you so we can make plans for a Saturday hike.
Yeah.
Hey, there's my teacher. Hello, Miss Henderson.
Well, hello, Arnie. I was just making some arrangements for a PTA luncheon with the hotel man, Mr. whatever his name is.
Oh, well, I want you to meet my friend, Mr. Brooks. This is the best teacher in the whole school.
How do you do, Miss Henderson?
How do you do?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Arnie's told me that you're starting a new book.
Mm-hmm.
I made up the title for it, Window on Main Street.
Well, I wish you lots of success with it, Mr. Brooks. Arnie, would you do me a favor and give this to your mother? It's the PTA notice to go in the paper. Thank you. Nice meeting you, Mr. Brooks. Bye.
Boy, is she a neat teacher. Best I ever had. But don't get the idea she's easy. Man, she makes you work. But somehow she makes you like it. Can you figure that?
Nope.
Majestic Hotel.
There's several things I can't figure. must be an easier way to type than that.
Oh, hello, Cameron. Hi, honey. I've got an eraser stuck in the darn thing.
Oh. Well, here, let me try. Maybe I can get the screwdriver stuck in there, too.
What time tomorrow do you think we ought to start our hike?
Well, maybe if we wait till afternoon, we might be able to talk your mother into joining us. We're not going far, Chris. And I'd love to show you some of my boyhood haunts, if they're still there. I remember a grove of maples whose leaves would turn such a brilliant color this time of year, you just wouldn't believe it. What do you say?
I think maybe this is a for men-only trip.
You're right, Mom.
But I will put up a lunch for you. And try me again sometime.
Hey, Arnie, I need a paper stacker. You available?
Yeah, okay, Mr. Carney. Don't leave. I'll be back. Oh, here. My teacher wants this in the paper.
Arnie introduced me to his Miss Henderson. Evidently, he thinks a great deal of her.
Practically worships her. And he should. She's a dedicated teacher. It's her whole life. You'd think a young, nice-looking girl like her would have a flock of beaux, but not Miss Henderson.
Well, maybe the school board causes that. I remember in my day, the board watched over the teachers like a bunch of hawks. Ah, success.
Oh, thanks.
Teacher hardly dared speak to the postman without a chaperone.
That isn't true anymore. We have a very broad-minded school board now. I'm sure if Miss Henderson wanted to have a beau... Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
I keep having the feeling that everything I tell you will somehow wind up in that book of yours.
Not true. I can only use about half of it. The rest is much too lurid.
Well, anyway, if you want to know any more about school board activities, you'll have to ask the board chairman.
Lloyd, you, the school board chairman?
Oh, yeah. A couple of years ago, I got upset over all the words my kids were misspelling in their schoolwork. So I wrote some scathing editorials on education. First thing I knew, I was on the board.
Had to open your big mouth, huh?
Actually, Cam, I feel I've done some good on the board, particularly in the hiring of better caliber teachers.
Like Miss Henderson?
Yes, good example. You've met her?
Briefly.
Fine girl. Came here 2 years ago. Good credentials, honor student at the State Teachers College. Came from a good home over in Hanford. Possibly too strict a home.
Why do you say that?
Well, probably just my own interpretation. But among her letters of recommendation, there was one from her minister. He wrote at great length, praising her parents, the way they raised her. But by reading between the lines, I got the picture of an old 17th century Puritan home. Iron-handed rule, harshly imposing a set of ideals and severe morals on the girl. Probably just my own misconception.
You paint a very clear picture, Lloyd. You should have been a newspaper man. Now, I gotta go out and buy some hiking shoes.
Hiking shoes?
Yes, I promised Arnie I'd take him out in the country tomorrow and show him some of the places you and I used to roam as kids. Arnie, old man, you may not realize it, but you're sitting right smack in the middle of paradise.
Yeah? I thought that was in heaven or someplace.
This is heaven. Fresh autumn air to breathe, sun to warm your soul, trees with leaves that dazzle your eye, and
Dill pickle?
dill pickles to eat.
Funny thing you calling this paradise out here. You know what the guys at school call it? The smooch pit.
Smooch pit?
Yeah. The big guys bring, you know, girls out here and kiss them. Hey, there goes the rabbit. Let's catch it. Come on.
All right. What are you doing? Hiding from the ferocious rabbit? Say, isn't that Miss Henderson and,
No, it's not. It's nobody we know. Nobody. Come on.
is a Tony. This is a Tony. This is a Tony. This is a Tony. Any smart do is easy for you with Tony's Hidden Body. No other permanent home or beauty shop has Hidden Body. Watch. Here's how Hidden Body looks when it's wet. But when you set it on big rollers like this, you get a smooth, sleek hairstyle that really holds its shape. Or you can start with Tony's Hidden Body, set it on smaller rollers, and get a soft, fluffy style. It's the most versatile permanent you've ever had. Have a Tony with Hidden Body. Choose from 3 types of lotion, all with Tony's no-mix neutralizer. Tony.
Deep inside of Arnie burned the secret of what he considered the disgrace of Wilma Henderson. His idol had fallen, and no one knew this better than the idol herself.
Arnie, may I see you a moment? Arnie, sometimes we get quick impressions of things, events, but those impressions might be wrong because we don't know the real truth. Your schoolwork hasn't been good the last few days. Arnie, look at me. A teacher and student must talk to one another. Without communication, there can be no understanding. Arnie, please look at me. That's all, Arnie. You may go.
Yes, ma'am.
In Wilma's rigid book of conduct, there was only one thing left to do. That evening, she did it.
Well, Miss Henderson, come in.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ramsey, but I'm in quite a hurry. I just want to give you this. My resignation.
Your resignation? But why?
It's rather a personal matter. I'd prefer not to discuss it. But I do have to leave immediately. It has nothing to do with the job or the board. You've all been wonderful, and I'm sorry to leave. Thank you for everything. Goodbye.
Miss Henderson.
That same evening, I had an unexpected visitor.
Oh, good evening, Harry. I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Brooks, but I'd like to talk to you.
Well, sure. Come on in. What do you want to talk about? Am I behind in my room rent already?
It's about Wilma Henderson. I know that you and that kid Arnie saw us together last Saturday. Oh, that really upset her. I mean, the kid seeing her. You'd think she committed a big crime or something. But she's like that. She gets all steamed up over nothing. I don't know why I keep on seeing her. I can't tell from one minute to the next whether I'm out with a chick or my Sunday school teacher.
Well, frankly, how does this concern me?
Well, since that Saturday, she won't speak to me. Not even on the phone. So I thought maybe that she'd talk to you.
Oh, now wait, Harry. I don't want to get involved. Excuse me. Hello. Oh, Lloyd. Resignation?
If you know anything that might shed some light on her sudden resignation, anything that might help me change her mind, I'd appreciate knowing it. Because we don't want to lose her.
Well, Lloyd, I'm, busy right now, but I may have something for you later. I'll call you. Where are you, home? Good. Harry, I still don't want to get involved, and I don't want to pry. But if I am going to help, I need to know more about this. Tell me, how did two such unsuited people as you seem to be ever start going together?
That was kind of weird. We had elderly literary type guy in the hotel who wanted a certain book from the library. So I went to get it for him. Libraries and me are strangers. Boy, I was lost. Then I saw Wilma, and I thought she was the librarian. Excuse me. Could you help me find this book?
Oh, Aristotle. Well, yes, of course. Come along. It's good to see people interested in philosophy. Too many people stop reading altogether after they leave school these days. Or if they do read, never anything deeper than a detective novel. You know, you might be interested in the evening adult classes at the high school. That is, if you're available in the evenings.
Oh, I'm very available in the evening. That's when I'm at my best.
Oh, here's Aristotle. Well, here's your book. I hope you enjoy it.
Miss, about the evening classes, maybe we could go someplace and discuss that when you get off work here.
Oh, well, I don't work here. I'm a school teacher.
Oh. Oh, well, maybe you can tell me more about the classes while I drive you home.
I think it would be best if you inquired at the high school. Still, I suppose I could be of some assistance. If you really are interested.
Oh, I am. Very interested.
Well? And then, of course, they also have classes in history and literature and political science and even astronomy.
Oh, astronomy, that's for me. I do my best work in the moonlight.
Mr. McGill?
Man, she nearly broke my skull. But the funny part was, about a week later, she found an excuse to see me again. And that's the way it's been ever since. On again, off again, always in secret. Claims that's on account of her teaching job, but I think she's ashamed of me. Why I keep wanting to see that silly dame, I don't know. Well, I've got a whole book full of phone numbers, and they don't give me 1/10 the trouble that she does.
Well, maybe your problem is solved, Harry. She's resigned her job.
What? Oh, no, she mustn't do that. I don't want to be responsible for her quitting her job. Oh, look, you've just got to see her and talk her out of this.
No, now wait, Harry.
Oh, she'll talk to you. I know she will. Well, you're more her kind of people, literary, educated.
No, Harry, Lloyd, keep your shirt on. Oh, who is this? Oh. Mm-hmm. I see. Well, all right. I'll be there. Looks like I've been ambushed from all sides. That was Wilma.
Wilma? What does she want?
She wants to meet me at the library to give me some kind of a message for Arnie.
Arnie? Well, why is she so worried about that little kid?
Well, you probably have to be a teacher to understand that. Losing a student can be a serious loss.
Well, look. Tell her not to resign on account of me. If it'll help any, I won't see her anymore.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Brooks. I know how much Arnie respects you, so perhaps you could convince him somehow that I'm not as bad as he thinks. I can't talk to him, and I can't bear to leave with him thinking of me the way he does.
Why leave? Mr. Ramsey doesn't want you to. And I was just talking to Harry, and
Harry. I despise him. No, that's not true. I despise the weakness in me that allows me to be attracted to him. Do you know the purpose of that ill-fated drive in the country? I arranged that myself. That's what I was doing that day at the hotel. The purpose was to tell Harry that we were through forever. And you saw what happened to that high resolve. He's everything that I don't want in a man. Has no ambition, no culture, no ideals. This is not the way I planned for romance to come into my life.
Well, how often do our lives run according to our plans? The world was not made for you, nor for me. We take it as we find it and do the best we can with it.
Well, I've made a mess of it, so I'm leaving.
And accomplish nothing? As for Harry, in his own strange way, he loves you. And you could do him some good. But not until you stop hiding him and start helping him. Be somebody. As for your job, they desperately need teachers like you.
You can no longer teach when you don't have the respect of your students.
That only applies to one student, Arnie.
That's all it takes, one.
Well, then the thing to do is get straightened out with that one. Why don't you go see him right now?
Oh, no. I couldn't.
Well, if you can't, no one else can do it for you. Arnie has to hear it directly from you. Good night, Miss Henderson.
Mr. Brooks, wait. What would I say to him?
Beats me. But I do know you must stop thinking of yourself as a criminal. Because you're not. You're a human being. And what's more, you're Arnie's teacher. Now, believe me, he needs you back on that pedestal. But running away will never put you there.
They're soft like cloth when hands are wet, won't even scratch your silver set. Work like terry cloth on a big spill, will paper towels do it? New Scott towels will.
New super absorbent Scott towels, just invented. The first paper towels you can use like cloth, anywhere. Only Scott towels have these tiny, thirsty puffs that make the difference. Soft and absorbent like terry cloth, for drying a child's tender hands. A wonderful new texture. And see how new Scott towels get into corners. That puff texture is more like cloth than paper. And when you clean pans with hot water and cleanser, new Scott towels stay strong.
Like using cloth, yet you toss them away.
New super absorbent Scott towels. The first paper towels you can use like cloth.
Anywhere. Arnie, you know you're falling behind at school, and I wish I knew what's bothering you.
Well, maybe if you would have me transferred to a different class with a different teacher.
Now, don't blame the teacher. You have the best one you've ever had. Now, look, I have to pick up Grandma at her church meeting, and when I get back, I want to see a book in your hand. Understand?
Hello, Arnie. May I come in?
My mom's not here.
I didn't come to see her. I came to see you. Arnie, I hardly know what the front of your face looks like anymore.
Excuse me. Mom wants me to clean up this mess.
Arnie. Listen to me. We are never going to solve our problem by avoiding it. What problem? You know what problem. Let's say it out loud. You're ashamed of me because you saw me in that car with Mr. McGill.
I didn't see anything.
If that's gallantry, I thank you for it, but we both know that's not true. Now, this is the moment for truth and for honesty and for trying to find out... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But I'm not going to let you run away. Now, we're going to talk.
All right. I saw you out there in the smooch pit. And Mr. Brooks saw you, too.
So? So? Well, I mean... Arnie, have you never kissed a girl?
Maybe I...
Well, that's different. How is it different? Well, my gosh, you're a teacher. And teachers aren't supposed to do such things. They're creatures made of books and ink and chalk. Well, that's not true. They're flesh and blood with faults and virtues like you, Arnie. And desires, needs, hungers like anyone else. Well, sure, but you're right. The fault was mine. I thought I had to hide my dates with my friend. But that's where I was wrong. Mr. Brooks made me realize that. Mr. Brooks? Yes. It was he who told me to come and talk to you. I was going to resign, but he said no. My job was to stay here and teach. There, I've told you everything I know, Arnie. Now you tell me what you're thinking.
I didn't get that stuff in class about the Crimean War.
The Crimean War. Sit down there, young man. And pay attention, because we have work to do.
Yes, ma'am.
A young doctor whose success is threatened by his own boyhood is the character I'll tell you about when you return for another look at Millsburg through my window on Main Street. And remember, Tony is famous for research. You can have confidence in their fine products. Good night.
What makes her gray hair so beautiful? Silver Curl, the only permanent specially made for gray hair, with a special hair beauty treatment that prevents gray hair dryness. Silver Curl by Tony.
Window on Main Street has been brought to you by Tony, makers of Tonette, the home permanent made especially for very young hair.